It's the great debate at Kings Island. Again, hello everybody. Alongside Don Helbig, I'm Ryan Sir, and this is Tower Topics.
Tower Topics is a podcast by Kings Island fans for Kings Island fans because that's who we are and that's who we care about.
Let's start this off by thanking our Prestige members. I want to thank Aaron Bort, 330T, Logan Lipper, Brian Hauser, Lil Mac 21, Miss Mandy 1983, Jacob Fix, Stephen Hornack, Damon Barnes, and Eric Grau. Thank you guys so much for supporting Tower Topics at the Prestige level. That's the highest level. If you want to be involved in Tower Topics, there's a link in the description. Members get early access to the videos, exclusive content, members only live streams, and some tiers get some free stuff. So hit that link in the description. We'd love to have you as a supporter.
All right, so Ryan, this spring, Kings Island Soak City Water Park is going to debut a first of its kind with thrills and the chills with the addition of River Racers, the first and only dual racing water coaster in Ohio. But is this really a water coaster?
Is it a giga? Is it a water coaster? Can we ever have defined rides at Kings Island? We need to break it down a little bit and determine what a water coaster is. Now, let's say right off the bat, the manufacturer of this ride calls it a water coaster. So if that's enough for you, then cool. But typically a water coaster implies a ride where guest experience drops, turns, and sometimes uphill sections powered by water jets or conveyor systems. Or in the case of Holiday World and several others, like linear induction motors, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. But if the guests have to manually carry their rafts up steps, it might technically still be considered a water slide because it deviates from what you would consider the conventional understanding of what a water coaster is.
Yeah. So the key elements of a water coaster typically are powered sections like conveyor belts, water jets, or linear induction motors to move the rafts uphill. Dynamic moments like drops and turns that mimic a roller coaster. Without these features, particularly the powered uphill movements, it stretches the definition of a true water coaster in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And however, marketing and the terminology, that can vary. So some still might call it a water coaster like Kings Island is doing, for the branding or because it includes some coaster-like elements. So we can understand why, it would be looked at as a water coaster because it does have some of those elements. But from a purist perspective, if guests are doing the heavy lifting, by carrying their rafts up to the top, it's more of a traditional water slide experience.
Yeah, so let's talk about the River Racers experience. So the riders are going to board side-by-side rafts at the starting line where a conveyor belt launch sends them plunging down a 33-foot, 47-degree drop. And the giant windows help racers see the rafts in the lead while the water coaster reaches 30 miles an hour, which 30 miles an hour is pretty fast for a water slide, you got to admit.
It is.
And then the raft reaches the bottom of the drop and it starts to climb upward. Water jets drench the riders and propel them up into an enclosed tunnel illuminated with special lighting effects. The race is on as the racers zip through more twists and turns, rushing through an open-air, high-banking slingshot, whipping them around 180 degrees into a gravity-defying final mega drop to see who crashes the finish line first.
Crashes?
Yeah. Crashes. I like to say crashes.
Okay.
Because it's like crashing a party is what I'm saying. Like, who crashes that front? I'm talking 90s talk now.
Not the longest water coaster, water slide, whatever definition you want to classify it as. Out there, it's just a little over 500 feet, but it still looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great addition to Soak City Water Park. But for the verdict, is this a true water coaster? Is it more of a water slide? How are you viewing it? It's not for Ryan and I to decide. We're going to let you do that. So leave a comment if River Racers is a water coaster, water slide, if you're watching on YouTube. But again, either way, it looks like a fantastic addition to Soak City Water Park.
Yeah, I'm going to caveat that a little bit. Leave us a comment. Is it a water coaster? Is it a water slide? or does that honestly not matter to you? Because it seems like same thing with the great giga debate of Orion.
Hmm.
Is it a giga? Is it not a giga? And then there's 49% of the population that has a strong opinion on that. And then 51% says, I don't care, it's a good ride.
Yeah, as long as it's fun, they don't care, right? And I think we've gone round and round about it. How I thought with with Orion, whether it was a giga, wasn't a giga, that the mistake there was trying to say it was a giga and creating those arguments instead of just saying, hey, we got this great new ride that's going to be opening next year, and then talk about the stats, how steep and how far the first drop is, 300 feet, that you're going to hit over 90 miles per hour. It's going to have these different kind of elements. You focus on that kind of stuff and let the terminology just drop that, because that's let the other people argue about it, but don't start the argument yourself by classifying it something that is debatable, which this attraction is debatable.
Yeah, I'm interested as to how many people it matters to. Because the Giga thing I think struck a nerve for a lot of like the hardcore enthusiasts,
Mm-hmm.
but water slide versus water coaster, maybe not so much. I think that a lot of people on the surface are maybe a little disappointed that they kind of had a vision of what a water coaster was, and this doesn't really fit that. But with that being said, always have an open mind. Don't knock it till you try it. I mean, I know it's going to be a fun ride.
Are
If
you
it
going to do
doesn't,
it?
I'll ride it at some point. Yeah, I'm not going to wait an hour for it, but I'll ride it. But obviously, the cool thing about Soak City is that they never add one attraction. There's going to be other stuff that's coming as well.
There is. You got 7 new kids water slides in the Riverside themed kids play area, Splash River Junction. There's going to be hundreds of new loungers and chairs. I think that is a big add for Soak City Water Park. That's always been one of the top complaints, is not enough seating for everybody, not enough chairs out there. So that's going to surround the new area. You're going to have those chairs and lounges. They're going to be in areas that you can get some sun. There's going to be some others that are going to be in the shade.
That's going to be really nice. I feel like the net ad of that is going to be the real winner in the long run, because I feel like Tropical Plunge was tempting when it first came out, but it's a couple years later, and I don't think anybody buys a ticket specifically for Tropical Plunge. And the same will be true for this and any Soak City attraction. But if you can overall, as a net, improve the experience at Soak City, that's where the real win is going to be in the long run.
Right. And you also got blue ice cream coming out to Soak City Water Park.
I hate blue ice cream, but if you like it, go you.
Yeah, that's going to be in the location where the former Subway was.
Yeah, it's exciting. Well, I'm guessing that maybe that didn't have the traffic that they thought it was going to have. They could have just severed their relationship with Subway because they got rid of it at the same time as the other Subway. But um, Soak City has been in a deficit for food for a long time, and maybe with this they kind of feel like it's not anymore because they have added both restaurants and capacity to the restaurants. So feeling comfortable adding blue ice cream, which I think will be very successful. You're out in the sun and stuff. What do you want? Ice cream. What kind do you want? The blue variety for some reason.
Yeah, if you like smoked chicken wings, Soak City has outstanding smoked wings.
I would argue there's a place downtown. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. Um, Okay, I'm just gonna go over it because I can't. It's somewhere downtown, and if anybody knows what I'm thinking about, put it in the comments. That and uh, I think it's Longhorn have fantastic smoked wings.
They
They're
do.
the
Yeah, the
only
Island
ones.
Smokehouse. Yeah, out at Soak City though. I mean, I'm putting that one
It's
right up there with those.
Yeah, it's the only one that sits on the shelf with those other two. I can't think of what the one downtown is called, so you're gonna have to Google it. But it's well known. I just lost.
Well, the Island Smokehouse too has other food that's really really good. So if you like in Coney Mall, Coney Barbecue, you've got something very similar out in Soak City Water Park. So sometimes, uh, if you don't go out to the water park, you're not going to do the attraction. Still go out there for the food.
Absolutely, yeah. I have to admit I have made trips out to Soak City just to eat before. Anyway, um, enough of that.
Yeah, so water coaster, not a water coaster. Again, let us know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on to a segment we like to call buy or sell.
Okay, Ryan, in 2026, Kings Island will enhance the Beast Ride experience by adding onboard audio.
Although that would be awesome, sell. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to sell too, and you're right. It would be incredibly awesome. And, this submission to us, I mean, at least, there's an ideal out there, for you, Kings Island, if you want to maybe breathe some new life and that into the Beast as it approaches its 50th anniversary season in 2029. This would be one way to do it.
The problem, though, is that PTC doesn't offer that product, and I think that would be the big hangup for it.
That would be the big hangup. Yeah, you'd have to get some different trains on there.
Yeah, which it seems like I asked the listener, or we asked the listeners if they would be okay with changing the trains, and they were split. It was like 50-50 in the comments of, if it can make a better ride experience, let's do it, versus no, those are classic. It has to be PTC, which I don't know. But I don't know of a wood coaster manufacturer that puts onboard audio on.
I don't either. I like the idea of it if it can be done, but by 2026, I mean, that's an easy sell for both of us there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Six Flags headline news. All right. So Six Flags America has announced its 2025 events lineup. Highlights include April 12th being their opening day, with the park opening for the season that day. April 12th through the 21st is Spring Break Day. So Spring Break will be full of thrilling rides, diverse dining, and exciting experiences that will create memories to last a lifetime at Six Flags America. May 24th through September 7th is going to be Hurricane Harbor's opening. When the heat of summer hits, the water park opens with rides and entertainment for all ages, including the latest edition Rip Curl Blaster, the Mid-Atlantic's tallest Master Blaster water coaster. Is that taller than River Racers? We'll have to look that up. May 31st through the 29th, May 31st through June 29th, Viva La Fiesta. This vibrant festival returns with exciting live entertainment, authentic dishes and beverages, and special activities that the whole family will enjoy. Is that the event that's replacing Carnival at Carowinds?
Yes, and some other parks.
June 19th is their Juneteenth celebration. Six Flags America commemorates a special holiday with local entertainment, community vendors, and a fireworks spectacular. And new for 2025, July 4th and 5th, Star Spangled Nights. Experience 2 nights of breathtaking fireworks synchronized to patriotic music for an awe-inspiring celebration of America. September 13th through November 2nd, Fright Fest, presented by Snickers. Thrills and chills return to Six Flags America during Fright Fest, complete with a haunting landscape, scare zones, and hair-raising attractions. This event will surely make for a spooktacular Halloween season. Available weekends and select days. Same dates, September 13th through November 2nd. Kids Boo Fest, the Halloween-themed event for little ghosts and ghouls, returns with kid-friendly entertainment, special activities, trick-or-treat trail, and more. Available weekends and select days. So theirs is running, their Boo Fest is running longer than Six Flags New England.
Yeah, I was just noticing that as you were reading this, and you look at these different events that we're talking about on some recent episodes for the Six Flags headline news, and I think it's number one, kind of serves as the reason that you might want to add the all park passport to your season pass, because there's a lot of parks out there that have some great rides and some great events, and if you're interested in seeing other parks, that's the way to go with that all park passport. This park, Six Flags America, I mean, it's not bad. It's you can have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I have to make it out there. When I was in that part of the country for Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Kings Dominion, we tried to make it up there, but just time didn't allow. But I'm sure I'll make it back out to those parks, and you know,
I'm going to try to hit it if I'm able to attend the ACE Spring Conference. So I'm going to try to hit that.
cool. All right, perfect. We'll be right back with the listener questions.
First question comes from Beth from Indianapolis. She said, if Kings Island had a signature scent, what would it smell like?
Sewage. No, I'm just kidding. Who was that intern that you had all the ideas for the candles?
Natalie was her name.
Natalie. Yeah, she was on to something, but of course, like nobody asked her. But she had about 6 or 7 ideas for like a blue ice cream candle and an International Street candle. I'll tell you this, Disney kind of does it with whatever that soap store is in the Grand Floridian. Aaron bought a couple of scents, but there's like the Magic Candle Company that does ET as well as like several Disney, like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. And I'm a regular shopper there because the smells bring you back to it and stuff. If Kings Island had like a 5 or 6 candle lineup, where they do sell candles at Kings Island, to be clear, but they're not like, oh, this smells like Kings Island. It's just like Kings Island sticker on it. If they did that, I would buy every single one, probably repeatedly.
Yeah, when she was doing those blogs, about the different scents and that she would find around the park, it was kind of interesting what she was coming up with. You're right, she was, probably onto something. I remember being asked, why is she writing about that? We need to be talking about season pass, and it was one of those, things again that people were finding it interesting and people were talking about. It was creating conversation, which in turn sells season pass because we put Kings Island on their minds with that. But yeah, I mean, I think things like roller coaster chain lube, from the Beast. That would be one. I think would be a signature scent. The train, the train has a unique smell to it, so I think that would be something. If you had that as a signature scent, I mean, it would be identifiable to Kings Island. Roller coaster chain lube is roller coaster chain lube at a lot of parks. So I mean, it all kind of maybe blends together a little bit. So that could not be the signature, to be part of that package that you would. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Blue ice cream, could be out there. But for me, it would be the train. That's the one that I would say would be the signature, just because that would be identifiable to Kings Island more so than a lot of these other things.
By the way, I did a quick Google search. The soap shop where they sell like bath bombs and stuff and candles that smell they have a few park scents for Disney is white or Basin White. That's both at Disney Springs and the Grand Floridian. And then the Magic Candle Company. Google that if you're interested in other scents. But this is a shout out to Kings Island. It's a fantastic opportunity. Do a 6 candle scent where they got blue ice cream, roller coaster chain lube. And roller coaster chain lube doesn't have a scent. So you can make it just smell something that's palatable and say it's really good. Yeah. Blue ice cream would have to smell like blueberry or whatever. And then like they could do a sweet spot one that just tastes generically sweet,
Yeah, you walk in there. I mean, you smell all the different treats in that. I mean, that has a unique smell to it.
It kind of smells like a Halloween candy bag. That's the way I always saw it. Like when you were little, when you would like put your face in the candy bag and sniff, how it had that generic like mixture of smells and stuff. That's what the sweet spot smells like to me. So if they could do a candle like that, that would be awesome. They could do Soak City where it smells just like chlorine. I mean, not chlorine, maybe chlorine that's dressed up a little bit so it's not harsh like an indoor water park or something. But I think that's something that can be done.
There's opportunity there, that's for sure.
La Rosis or Skyline could potentially be something. I mean, I would probably sell them as keepsake rather than like, oh, sent your house like La Rosis, because that would be a little overbearing. But yeah, I totally agree that there's a lot of opportunity there.
All right.
Cool. Next question, Ryan from Oakley, Ohio. He says, which ride at Kings Island would make for the best setting for a horror movie?
Well, that's got to be the Beast, just because of where it's located. Within the 35 acres wooded area, I think that lends itself to kind of the horror type movie setting.
Yeah. Well, that was the first thing that came to mind when I read the question. The other one would be if you're locked in boo blasters and you've got like flashlights or a candle or something. Going around that would be kind of cool at night, where you're locked in there. You don't know what's part of the show or what's part of like a real psycho killer or whatever. That would be kind of fun too.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got you again here, Ryan.
Oh, Tony from Norwood, Ohio. Which defunct ride do you think would have the best chance of making a surprise comeback?
Surprise comeback. They brought back Antiques. They brought back the Flyers. I would have to say, so we're going to say it was there before, kind of a ride. Skyride.
That was one that came to mind for me. Now you can cheap out of it too. Like for example, they didn't recreate the bat to give us the current bat. They renamed the other suspended coaster the bat. The Skyride is kind of a hole in the lineup that they need.
Yeah, I think those aerial views would be, fantastic. They were before when they had the Skyride, so something like that, I think. And that would be if the word was making a surprise comeback, because no one's thinking that. You and I do, but no one else is thinking Skyride. So that would be definitely in that surprise category. All right, next we have Dennis from Toronto, Canada. He says, "Are you planning a visit to Canada's Wonderland this year to ride Alpen Fury?" So I work at a hotel near the park. It can get you a discount.
Heck yeah. I would love to. It's Canada's Wonderland's on my bucket list. Alpen Fury is definitely a good way to kind of push me towards actually going there. I'm gonna put me down as a maybe. I don't have a passport, so I would have to like get that squared away, which takes weeks. But I want to.
Yeah, I'd have to get my passport updated, but yeah, I'd love to. I think it's a beautiful park. The times that I've been there, I've loved it. They have a good mix of the thrill rides, flat rides. From the last time that I was there, the food was pretty good. So yeah, I would love to get to Toronto and go to Canada's Wonderland. Maybe see a Blue Jays game while I'm in the area. Hockey Hall of Fame. You can make a nice weekend out of it. So I'm hoping to. Let's just leave it at that. I'm hoping to. And if I go, I will certainly look you up, Dennis. Give you a call or send you an email and take advantage of that discount that you kindly have offered us.
Yeah, and I don't know where Dennis works, but other friends of mine have been very gracious with hotel discounts in the past, and they're usually pretty lucrative. So it would be great. Plus, you're buying with American money with that exchange rate, and right now the Canadian dollar's never been more adverse, shall we say, to the American dollar with the crazy stuff with the tariffs and so on. So yeah, that's tempting.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be too how I adjust to the vision, issues that I'm having and stuff. How that feels when I'm outside and about. The spring going to some parks that open in March. I'm going to be going to Dollywood and that's just trying to test in the water, see how that is, and if it's good, then I want to definitely be very active and getting to as many parks as possible this year.
Absolutely. Don, tell us about the t-shirts.
Tower Topics t-shirts come in a wicked green, $22, include shipping. You can get yours simply by sending us a direct message on our X, which is Tower_Topics, or you can drop me an email, donhelbig@themeparksbydon.com. I'll send you a QR code. Once the transaction goes through, we'll get that shirt out to you quickly.
Perfect. All right. I'm Ryan Sir along with Don Helbig, and this is Tower Topics.